Hello, Virgo. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing a psychic tarot reading for you, tuning into the day's energy, seeing what divine messages of guidance come through for Virgo, for all those who are watching, who are tuning in. So this is a general reading. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Thank you all so much for your kind comments. Very supportive, not only of me, but of each other. Thank you for all your likes, shares. All right, let's get started. Let's get into these messages. Wow. All right, the overall energy of your reading, Virgo, is the Ace of Cups. Love, self-love. Feels like you're opening your heart space, inviting in what you receive as loving after heartbreak. Three of Swords in reverse. It feels like you've been through heartbreak. And with the Strength card, it's shown you who you are on a very profound level. What you've gone through, the heartbreak that you've gone through has shown you who you are on a profound level. And who you are on a profound level is someone very loving. You have a very sweet, loving energy. Sweet is a good way of describing it. Maybe innocent. It feels like you really want to experience love and feel confident. It looks like in the past, what you experienced as love was more insecurity, more chasing after someone, kind of needing them to turn around and love you and care about you. So it's been a lot about insecure love, insecure attachments maybe. And it feels like you've learned a lot in this journey, this time around, this lifetime, around love, and more specifically, what's not loving. I think you recognize now what's not loving, and you're looking for love. Anything more about, the Lovers. King of Wands. So you're wanting something loving, and you want someone to embody and show you, demonstrate by how they show up, how they behave, that they love you. Feels like a different way of relationshiping. Might feel very different to have someone stay. You're not chasing, you're not feeling insecure. You're with someone who stays, who can meet you and take action towards that. Who shows you, who demonstrates in how they talk to you, how their energy feels, how they behave. It's all congruent. It's all in the same direction. So it feels like you're inviting in love, a loving relationship, after learning how to love yourself. All right, Virgo, way to go. All right, the hidden blessing is death and rebirth. Scorpionic energy, transformation. I think you needed to transform yourself to have the loving relationship that on a soul level you've always been looking for. You had to allow your life to transform as well. You had to allow something to die away. Parts of yourself, parts of your world needed to transform. And this was not happening to you, it was happening for you. Because on a soul level, it feels like it's very important to you to feel belonging with someone else, not fitting in, not having to separate from yourself to fit in with what someone perceives as love, but someone where you belong, where you being you fit in with others, or not fit in, belong with others. You can feel the resonance of it. And I think you've been letting go of that fitting in mentality, of having to separate from yourself, abandoning yourself. So this has been happening for you, this change, very profound change in your life. Feels like it's been happening for you. If you'll allow it, it'll happen for you and not to you. If you receive things as you're out of control and it's happening to you for no reason, if you perceive that you're a victim to your circumstances, then then so be it. The universe is like, okay, so be it. However, if you allow what you've gone through, it's happened for me. So then if I perceive that things happen for me, then I look through the lens of, and then I can receive the bounce from that. I can either allow what I've gone through to transform me into a version I prefer, or I can resist and perceive that something is wrong. Yes, you were in a painful enmeshed relationship that was toxic. Devil energy, 10 of Swords, 7 of Wands reverse. No healthy boundaries here, and tolerating being in a painful relationship. And I think the universe wanted, and you wanted love, you wanted a loving relationship, but you're in a toxic, painful relationship that you're addicted to, so you don't want to let it go. There's obsessive qualities here, there's toxicity, and the universe wants to give you what you want. This is a very cooperative, creative space we're in. But it feels like you're hanging on to the person and wanting what you want to come through them. But the universe is saying that what you want can't come through that person. That person does not have the capabilities to give you what you want. They cannot give you, they do not have the emotional depth, the care. Feels like you want them to be the person that you want them to be, to have the experience you want. It's just not the right fit. So what I'm perceiving is a breakup happened for you. All right. Virgo, what you're leaving behind is the Hierophant, maybe a marriage contract. Also, leaving behind someone who has an authority over you. Yeah, 8, like drinking the Kool-Aid, a mindset that isn't real, isn't true. There's a real naivete, believing like blindly following this person. You're leaving behind. It feels like you have to be in this relationship with this past person. You had to have their worldview, their mindset. You have to see everything through their lens, how they see it. You're not allowed to be an individual with your own independent ideas. You have to see things in agreement with them. And it feels like you're leaving that behind. You're wanting freedom to perceive things how you want to perceive them. It also looks like to be in this relationship, this past relationship, you gave up on your intuition. You were gaslit. You were told you were wrong. You were, to be in that relationship, you had to ignore bad feelings, bad emotions, since something's not vibing. It feels like you had to completely ignore your guidance, your intuition, your guidance. So you're leaving that behind. Feels like you're also leaving behind someone who can't say anything nice to you. They don't appreciate you. They don't say nice things to you. They don't talk about you to your face or others nicely. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, this is not your happily ever after. It feels like you might have created a fantasy and projected it on this person. Disassociated and believed you were living a fantasy with this person. Clinging on to this relationship, hoping that it would eventually turn around, but this is not your happily ever after. Also, you're leaving behind walking on eggshells. It feels like to be in partnership with this past person, you had to give up yourself, who you are, how you're perceiving things, and it feels like you constantly have to give up your reality to live in their delusion. So you're leaving that behind. Whew. All right, Virgo, how to get the most of this energy is the 5 of Cups in reverse. Not staying chronically in that sadness, in that grief. In the original 5 of Cups, the person's focused on the 3 cups that have spilled, that the loss. I've lost 3 cups. But there are 2 cups still upright. And if this person would stop focusing on the sadness, they would see that what they have, what they still have, and what they still have would lead their attention, their focus to, oh, there's a bridge, oh, there's a castle. Grief takes as long as it takes. Only you can know if you are marinating in it past when it's healthy. Are you acknowledging and sitting with your grief and allowing yourself to process it, or are you just marinating for years in the sadness of it? Feels like to get the most of this energy is to stop focusing on the grief, allowing yourself to come out of whatever story, whatever victim story. Some of you might be telling a story of victimhood that's keeping you stuck in the past, keeping you stuck in that victim mentality instead of moving on. Only you can decide if you're ready to let that story go. What benefit do you get from telling that story? Of being in the position of being out of power, out of control, being a victim. Feels like letting go of that story and creating a new story. Allowing, like, for example, allowing what you've gone through to be an origin story instead of why you're where you are, why you're not as far along, why you're unhappy. Instead of allowing that to be the excuse of why you don't like where you are, you don't like who you are, taking your power back and allowing what you've gone through to be your origin story that gave you power to become the person you've preferred to be all along, to have the life you prefer. It feels like there's a choice there. You can either stay in that victim mentality or go for the origin story. Start making moves, start taking action towards that way. You know, am I a victim to this, or is this my origin story? Do I allow what I've gone through to make me into the person I'd prefer being? Another way of saying this is looking at your life like it's a story, and you can detach from the character, you, and be the reader. And what do you want your character to do? If you were the reader reading about you, what moves do you want you to make? And start behaving that way. All right, Virgo, what's supporting you is Ace of Pentacles. It's a new opportunity, a new way of being. Oftentimes I see the Ace of Pentacles as a seed. It's not the fully formed expression. It's the beginning. And if you want this opportunity, you have to nurture it, plant it in proper soil so it can grow, water it every day, make sure it has the nutrients, the sunlight, love on it, care for it, tend, pull the weeds away so the nutrients aren't being pulled away. It feels like what you have here, what's supporting you, is a new opportunity. And you've got to decide if you want to nurture it and grow it. What is it that you want to for yourself? And start planting those seeds now so you can have the growth, the harvest later. Just wanting something and staying in yearning and desire does not do anything. It just gives your power away. Plant seeds today of what it is that you want for yourself. If you want love, then you don't withhold love until someone shows up who loves you. If you want a life and a partnership, which this feels like that's loving, then find things every day that you love. Things you love about yourself, love about your body, love about your life, love about your environment. Be in love. Plant seeds. I love this, I love this. I'm going through my day. I just love life. I want more fun in my life. All right. Then what's fun? What can you plant seeds of? What can you nurture into existence? Your life is like a garden. You don't just look over your garden and be mad that it's not the way you want. You have to tend your garden. You have to plant the right seeds at the right time. Nurture, care. Some of you have had a lot of openings, awakenings. Oh. What's supporting you is watching how you communicate about those who have not been able to change, those who are stuck, those... I'm getting a real watch being or a need to be better than others, to judge others. If you feel like a moral superiority, there's something here about just recognizing who's for you and go towards that. And once you recognize that someone's no longer for you, letting go, not continuing to make it bad or make them bad. It feels like watching what you say about those who are no longer a fit for you. Can you let them go in peace? Can you let them go? Are the criticisms coming from a wounded space? Are those your wounds talking? Watching where your communication is coming from and what your intentions for your communication are. If you're constantly needing to belittle this person from your past, you aren't healed. Those are your wounds talking. And so recognizing, oh, I'm still wounded around this issue. And that's okay. But maybe I'm not going to talk about that because it's opening a wound for me. There's something here about being mindful and focusing on what you do want and not spending so much of your airtime, needing someone to be bad, viewed as bad or wrong. All right, Virgo, what to be mindful of is judgment in reverse. That was the same type of energy, same card, judgment in reverse, around not talking about those who can't transform, communicating judgment. This is an interesting. How can you, Virgo, have your truth, speak your truth without making someone else the bad guy? Feels like that would be, for some of you who are stuck in a story of victimhood from a past person, how can I tell this story truthfully, honestly, without bringing the other person into it? For example, in a past relationship, I had an unequal power dynamic and it was very confusing. I was giving my power away to someone I was chasing. I was insecure in the relationship and I didn't like who I was. I didn't like how I felt. I never felt secure and safe and loving, but I stayed. And I kept choosing being in this relationship where I didn't feel empowered. I didn't feel cared for. I didn't feel loved. And I wonder why I stayed and kept saying yes to that relationship. So, that could be a very true description of what you went through in the past. But you're leaving the other person out of it. You're not blaming them. You're taking ownership and recognizing why there's no blame here, but why you were in that relationship, why you kept choosing that as a yes. So you can go forward in a more conscious way and not be in a relationship in a very unconscious way. Does that make sense? Feels like being very mindful of what you're thinking and what you're saying. And if someone needs to be blamed, if someone's to blame for who you are and where you're at, it might be time to invite in a different perception. So, all right, Virgo, I'm going to do an extended reading. We're halfway through the reading. If this has been resonating and you want more, there's a link in the description box below. It says extended reading here. You click on that link. It takes you over to Patreon and part 2. If you're feeling complete with this message, thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful for you. If you're excited for Patreon, we're going to continue on. I'm halfway through the reading. I'll look at health, relationships, creativity, new opportunities, and career and finance. So, all right. Love my Virgos. Have a great day. Bye.